Let's roll it.
Michael J. Huddleston, aka ICT, calling himself the inner circle trader, is a well-known con artist and fraud in the trading industry. There are very few trading scams who tell more lies than ICT. There is a well-known saying in the trading industry: how do you know when ICT is lying? When his lips are moving. Never trust anything coming from ICT. You have been warned. In this series we will be showcasing the history of this conman and revealing the fraudulent statements and outlandish lies and absurdities uttered by this fraud over the years in the trading industry. Know your history or you are doomed to repeat it. Get Wrecked Studios proudly presents Fraudulent and Stupid Things ICT Says. Enjoy.
Fraudulent and Stupid Things ICT Says, Part 1. My name is Vinny Mini. If this is your first time with us, well, welcome aboard. I am also known as the Market Historian. Why? Because I bring up the history of those who try to be a mystery like ICT. They delete their Twitter accounts. If you delete, we must repeat. So I am here to save those of you who are seeking the truth and let the truth set you free. If you want to avoid the con artist ICT, then you want to know the history of what he has done. Because again, as of right now, if you are hearing just the things that he's saying right now and you don't know the history, well, you might fall for this con. Again, he has quite the ability to tell stories. He is a big fish storyteller. Tonight I'm going to tell you the story of Tobias and Parson. If you would like to see the entire story, it will be over here on my community tab. You can go to the community tab right here on my YouTube channel, and then you'll have to come down here and click on this most recent post. But I'm not going to go through every detail here tonight because it is quite lengthy and you guys are looking for short and sweet. Every part of this series is going to be quick. I'm just going to tell you the facts so you guys can go and do your assessments of what you want to do with those pieces of information. But one of the huge stories that ICT told was back when he was trying to keep his members from quitting his mentorship because everybody started to see that ICT was not making any money. He was not able to be profitable on any of the accounts that he was trading in his mentorships. These are the paid mentorships that he was running. And about month number 5 or 6, he always gets desperate and has to tell these elaborate stories. One of those was a story about Tobias and Parson. Now, what was the point of the story of Tobias and Parson? Our speculation is that ICT needed to make his students, or his what we call victims, feel as though he had something special that they needed to hang around for because they started quitting. They started not paying each month and they were bailing on him left and right. So he was, in order to try to save them, he told this story in order to make people think, oh, well, maybe I will tell you some secrets there at the end if you stay till the final months. So what were those mysteries and secrets, and what would they might have been, and why would people stay around for it? Well, here's the story in short. Again, you can read the whole elaborate thing. This is from his own words, but the short version I'm going to I apologize, my throat there, is I'm going to paraphrase this story here. So Tobias and Parson, how did it go? So ICT starts saying that he knows all these things about the markets and that no one was ever trained like him, that there is never and can never be anyone else. He was a hand selected. He always uses that term, hand selected by these mysterious people. Now, mind you, at some point he has also told a story that we'll use in another video, but I've got to give a little touch here on it, that he has said that he has interfaced with the Rothschilds and other groups. There's one even darker and deeper and higher up than the Rothschilds, and they are inner circle with him. And this is the type of stuff that he does. So it makes you feel as though, wow, you're really dealing with someone like, wow, you want to be close to this guy. He must know things. Okay, this is what he's trying to give you. Again, this is what a con artist does: is make you believe, and so that you will hand over your cash with a smile on your face. That's the exact definition of a con artist and a fraud. So let's go into this story here. So beyond the individuals such as the Rothschilds, there were the Tobias and Parson, who happened to come and, as he has said, uses the term, tapped him on the shoulder as they had seen his progress and the results he was posting on, apparently, AOL, on America Online, you know, the dial-up 14.4 ball back in the day, that apparently ICT was balling big time on the AOL forums, supposedly, which there's no evidence of whatsoever. However, he is claimed that he was doing quite well, although at the time, even in his own stories later on, he tells that, oh, well, it was just blind luck. But yet, for some reason, these two mysterious characters, Tobias and Parson, found that ICT must be something special. So they somehow found him, tracked him down, and arranged meetings with him. And where are these meetings to be held and located? In a mall, at an eatery. Now, he goes to use the details that they met at the same place 3 times in a row, at the exact tables inside of the exact eatery at the exact same mall each time. You can go down the story down here. And that one of them liked him and the other one kind of did not. They were the Tobias and Parson. They met at the East Point Mall eatery at the same table, same time. August 6, 1994 was their first interview time. And they interviewed him and, asked him how he knew things, and whatever he told them, they felt like, well, he must be special. Let's hand select him and let's teach him more. So Tobias and Parsons were the ones who imparted upon ICT secrets, and that if you stay long enough in the mentorship program, he might reveal them to you. Although later then he tells you that, well, he can't tell you. But let me tell you why ICT claims that he can't tell you, as you can come down here and read, is that he has, they have these regrets because as they told ICT these things, they did not expect for ICT to be such an humble and sharing person, wanting to go out there and help the common man by sharing these deep, dark secrets that Tobias and Parsons had taught him, apparently about Fibonacci, which of course is not exactly the most secret of secrets, but as you start to read down the story, you will find out that Fibonacci was quite a big piece of the literal, quote, quote, puzzles in order to get out of this building where ICT was apparently trapped by Tobias and Parsons inside of the inner circle, that in order for him to escape this building, he needed to know the fib sequences that they had told him, or he would not be able to get out because the locks on the doors were programmed to the fib sequences that he would have to unlock in series. Yes, folks, I kid you not. These are things that you will read in the depths of these paragraphs that he wrote out to his members in order to try to keep them at bay and keep them paying. He said that he was engaged with these two individuals. Now, another thing about ICT was that the information that he had is so top secret and so dark that if he revealed them to anyone, that they would make threats to him that you better not, Mikey. You better not tell anyone. Oh, but what did ICT do? He went out there, and just because, he has such a loving heart for the people, and he shared with the people, Fibonacci levels and stuff like this, and they were unhappy with him. So he would get a knock on the door late at night, at 11 o'clock or after, even though he lived in a nice neighborhood. Supposedly, of course, we found out that he actually lived in Dundalk, Maryland, in a really small, tiny dump next to the train tracks. And so everything he always said was a lie. He never lived in a 12,000 square foot mansion. All the other crap that he had said was all a lie. He never worked for a hedge fund or any of that stuff. When he said that he worked for a $200 million fund in Maryland, all of that was fraudulent and fake, and there's no evidence of any of it. And come to find out that he has always been poor and that he is just a person trying to make it like everybody else, but making it by faking it. And he has faked out a whole lot of people with these elaborate stories, and people will stay around to go, well, maybe ICT will tell me the story, maybe I'll learn the secrets, maybe I can, ICT started as a pizza boy, and he was doing vending machines and came from nothing, but he was able to discover the markets because God above gave him the secrets to the matrix, and that he could see the right hand side of the chart before the right hand side of the chart came, and all this stuff. Except the problem is that ICT has no track record other than track records of failure. When people say he doesn't have a track record, it's actually not true. He does have track records. His track records are failures. He has 0 winning track records as of today's date. But no track records that are successful, many track records of failure, and all of them being deleted by things where he would go and delete his old accounts, he would delete his Twitter accounts, he'd delete his Instagram accounts, so that all this history is gone, which is why we're here bringing it to you now. So that is a story of Tobias and Parson. If you believe it, I don't know what to tell you. The Tobias and Parson thing is crazy. One of those pieces was so elaborate that he said, where's the part where he got thrown in the back of a van? Doors locked at 11 p.m., nice neighborhood. Experience that terror in your heart, and you're accompanied by people who never speak and sit you in a circle of them. and you're warned, don't reach far enough. I forgot. So in other interviews, ICT has said that he called himself the Inner Circle Trader because of a group from Larry Williams. If you guys have known the history of him, like now, he said, oh, you know, Larry Williams, he called one of his groups the Inner Circle, so I like to call myself the Inner Circle Trader. Well, other stories, when he wants to get elaborate, he will say things like this: I call myself, you know, the Inner Circle Trader because it came from them throwing me in the middle of the circle after they scared me to death and drove me to an undisclosed location in a windowless van. I kid you not, this is the story. I know I feel odd even telling you guys it because it feels so stupid to tell this story. The passcodes to the offices were fib sequences. I was not permitted to see the way to it. Right in the back of a closed van without windows. Yeah. And because of that, he has severe claustrophobia as a result, supposedly. And he can't tolerate close quarters today, and yet you guys have seen his little leased vehicle, that little tiny yellow thing that's, you know, bright and everybody sees it as it's driving by, but it's cheap, it's a lease, and it's tiny as F, and yet this fat fuck can barely fit in it. So if he's telling you he's got claustrophobia, you know, I don't know. I see all kinds of discrepancies in the stuff that he says. You should too. Anyhow, he talks about why they call themselves a smart money. I'm probably missing some of the big details, but you know, I hope you guys gather the big picture here. You know, if you guys, I'm curious, like, what do you guys think? Put it down in the comments down below. If you guys believe these types of stories, you think, well, maybe, you know, maybe there's a chance this actually did happen, Vinny, and you know, maybe you're being a little too judgmental. I'm not judging. I'm just telling you, it's some fraudulent ass shit. Anyhow, there's going to be more of these to come. This is going to be part 1. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one, part 2.